Ready. How we doing, everyone? Welcome to another edition of FSI's NASCAR DFS Pick Show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, joined by Mega Roller 31. Mega took last week off. Plate race, kind of a crapshoot. So we decided to just run with the projections, run with our cores, and skip the videos, given how volatile that slate is. But how did you fare at Talladega last week?
Well, we should have done the videos, man, because I knew that Tate Fulgerman was going to win the truck race, and Brandon Brown was going to win the Xfinity race, but I did have actually Bubba Wallace in quite a few of my lineups for. I didn't think he was going to win. I thought he'd do well for the Cup race, but yeah, I mean, I had a lot of things going on at work and personally, so it's just hard for working late Friday night and then early Saturday morning to try to get the two videos out. Plus, everything we would have said wouldn't have mattered because it was just so unpredictable. So hopefully this is a little bit more predictable. It's at Texas, right?
We are at we are at the Roval.
No, Texas is next week. I'm just ready for the Red River rivalry.
Oh yes,
today.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I see that. Yes. Yeah. Next week we have Texas on the slate for all three races: truck, Xfinity, and no trucks. Trucks aren't here till Las Vegas. Yep. Anyway, we are at the Roval. We're talking road course, projected to rain today, so we might get some rain tires. Hopefully it's not, like Mega said before we got on, a shit show from the time we had the Circuit of America's race where it was in a downpour. So yeah, hopefully not as bad, but I'm sure we're going to see some road tires on today. We have 67 laps, and it is called the Drive for the Cure 250, presented by the Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. That is definitely going into the books as one of the longest title names of the year. But not many laps to lead, so we're talking place differential, right?
Yep. Definitely a couple of dominators up top because you want good finishing position, but yes, we definitely want to look for place differential here.
Yeah, certainly that. Let's just jump right into it. We're going to start us off with Austin Cindric, probably the one driver up here I will not fade, and that is him. And Austin Cindric, one of the better road course racers on either the Xfinity Series or NASCAR Series. So I'm definitely not going to not fade him here at 10-3. That's not high enough for me to click off the button.
Yeah, I think definitely he's done very well at these types of courses, and that he's going to get out there. And like you said, there's not that many laps here to get like fastest lap points or to get led lap points, but I think that he does really good finishing in the top three. We've seen him get in wrecks year before, drive the whole road course and finish second with like only one fender. So definitely, even if he makes a mistake here, I think that he has the ability to get back up through the field and get out front even with a damaged car. So yes, definitely like him.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Cindric is still a lock even at his starting position. Next up, we have Justin Allgaier. It's going to be a no for me. I'm just thinking too far forward. I don't consider him to lead laps, and I don't consider him to finish inside the top five. So he is out for me. Your thoughts?
I like him in GPP here, just simply because he has been okay at road courses. And if it's a situation where you get like Allmendinger and Cindric like banging on each other, or Ty Gibbs in the mix, which we've seen on other road courses, and they all take each other out. Look at back with what was the train wreck where they had like in Cup where they like the curb came up and then they turned into a speed bump. But Denny Hamlin was leading that one, and then all of a sudden like somebody like 4 or 5 cars back ends up winning it because like the top three like spin each other out like in situations like that. So I think he's good for GPP. And the other thing that we should go into is, if you're looking up at the screen and wondering what the in column is, that is the place for where they are currently in the standings. Because Brandon Brown and Josh Berry won the first 2 races of the stage, nobody is automatically qualified for the next one. So anybody that wins here today will definitely get an automatic qualification into the round of 8. So you have Cindric, Allmendinger, and Hemrick, who's coming up next, who are pretty much comfortably 40 points above the cut line or more. So I think they're pretty much in, even if they have a really, really bad day and finish last. 4 and 5 are, if they have a bad day, they might be in danger. The ones in yellow, which would be Jones, Grayson, and the Burton brothers, that's right where the cut line is. So it's going to be an interesting battle between the Burtons. And then you have Snyder and Herbst, who really need to hope they almost win this race, and a lot of other things go wrong. And Jeremy Clements is so far behind that he probably needs to win. So just got to put that out there first. So yeah, I think, Allgaier and Hemrick are up here. I like them as GPPs just because they might be. I mean, Hemrick's never going to win, but if this is not going to be his first win at this track, it might still come this season, but I just don't see it happening here. So I think they're both GPPs based on starting position. I think they can definitely finish in the top 10, probably striking distance of the top 5, because there's probably about 3 really, really good guys that could get up ahead of him here. So that would push them down to like 5th or 6th. But I think they'll have good days, but I don't think they're like elite cash plays.
There you have it. Next up, we have Josh Berry in the number 1 car, taking place of Michael Annett, 8,900. Any thoughts on Josh Berry?
I have him as a fade. I think he's starting way too high. He has no experience here, but then again, the rest of these drivers have only raced this 2 or 3 times here at this track. And, Josh Berry has fared well on all different types of tracks his rookie year. So would it surprise me if he sneaks out the win? No. And I think this is really good car, really good equipment. I think I think he's really going to go out there and just try to get some experience here, but he's the only one in here that doesn't have to play a conservative game, because like I said, some of these other guys might just be kind of hanging out and just trying to finish the race just so they don't fall below that cut line, because It's you have 2 ways to go here. You either go for the win to lock yourself in, but if you can't, you really just want to make sure you get a good result here so that you survive in advance.
Yeah, I kind of like Josh Berry more than I do Allgaier and Hemrick for that reason, that he's going to be aggressive. I think he's a really good driver. I know he doesn't have much experience, but I consider him a very good driver in this field. And I like that he has the number 1 car. I know the number 1 car has a lot of money behind it at Junior Motorsports. That 1 and 8 are the top 2 cars outside of the 9, I would say. And yeah, so I don't mind Josh Berry in a GBP, but still a little too far high for me. Yeah. Same with this next guy, which I think is going to be a contrarian thought, but I am off Justin Haley today. Sitting in the number 5 spot, starting 5 at 9,600. I think the price tag is too high. I don't think he leads laps, and I question whether or not he's going to finish where he starts. So I'm going to be out on Haley today.
He was the 4th guy in my GPP. There's 3 other guys I liked him really better, but he is a decent road racer. Cully Racing, they do come up with like fast and decent cars and good setups. So I think that out of the top 5 guys that we're talking for GPP here, like 2 through 5, I think he'd be my favorite.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I just think these guys are still a little too far ahead, but that's fair to say. Next up, we have Brandon Jones at 8,100. I like the price tag. I certainly do. I just don't like Brandon Jones on road courses. Your thoughts?
I actually have him as a cash play here. I think that he's going to have a decent day. He's like just above the cut line. I think that his team's probably going to talk to him and say, you know what, just go out there and stay in the top 10 and have a good finish. And that just might be enough if there's a bunch of chaos with these other guys, trying to be a little bit more aggressive. So I just, pricing wise in the top 10, being a playoff driver, I think he's cash worthy.
Okay. Next up, we have Jeb Burton at 83. I actually have interest here. Jeb Burton for Colleague Racing. He is outside the bubble, driving 9th, 8,300. This is the type of cash GPP play that I was looking for. Someone that can finish with a little bit of place differential, getting into that top 5. Now we're starting to get into some of the plays that I'm going to like on this slate. At that price tag, I think it's perfect. He's going to be racing hard. He's going to be racing to get in. Give me Jeb Burton.
I disagree, because like he and Harrison are only like, I think they're only like 4 points apart. So it's just like a matter of he doesn't really have to do much to get in. Like if Harrison Burton falls back like 3 positions, then Jed's automatically past him. It's just so close with the mathematics here that both Burtons in a GPP I think are interesting. I might just throw together like a cut line GPP if I can get like most of the pricing in. So like Clements really helps you there with like 7,100, but then like Jones, Burton, and maybe Grayson if he fits in, if not Riley Herbst, and just like see what happens with like these playoff drivers all in the same like lineup. But I'm not recommending that for cash, or nothing more than $1. Maybe the $3 20 max. But yeah, I haven't listed GPP. I'm not playing them. Riley Herbst, same thing. I think, he's got a lot of ground to make up, so that could help make him a little bit more aggressive. But Noah Grayson's the one out of like the top 10 here that I am going to put the first one in my GPP. He is a decent road racer. He is actually, even though he got wrecked, and it really wasn't his fault, I believe, at Talladega, I think he's really kind of been a little bit more responsible driving. And I've seen him get up there and lead these road courses. So he's going to be the first guy in my GPPs.
Absolutely agree. So there we go. We got something we agree on so far in this top 10. I'm all in on Gragson as well for GPPs. We're going to talk about a couple of guys later that are going to be the chalk. I love him as a pivot. I think he can have just as much upside as the other two. Racing really well coming down the stretch here in the latter half of the year. He's got a lot of motivation, only being in 7. So I think he's going to be gunning for it. And I think he finishes inside that top 3 today. Give me Noah Gragson, 10K, GPP, lock it in. I didn't get to speak on Harrison Burton a little bit. I don't like that price tag at 9,800. I think I'm going to go with Gragson instead, but I do like your theory on the Burton and Burton lineup. I am definitely going to try that out and see if maybe they can race themselves into a top like 4 or 5 finish with maybe a dominator or someone that's going to get a lot of place differential points. So I like that idea. I'm out on Riley Herbst. 8,400 is a pretty good price tag, but I don't know. I'm going to go Burton instead. Maybe Herbst in like a multiple lineup entry format where I'm taking like a share or two, but I don't know. Not really my favorite play. We have Jeremy Clements he is 12th in the playoff race. He needs to win 7,100. Yes or no?
He's way behind, and I have him as a fade. Like the pricing is nice here, but I just think that he's gonna, if he was starting 25th at a road course, and he's a decent road course driver, I'd love it. But him starting like 12th or 11th here, I think it's too high.
Okay. I honestly think he might get a little bit of ownership because of the price. I think he's going to get like 10, 15 to 20% ownership. And that could be a worthy fade if he, wrecks out or finishes 15th. So I can understand it. Next up, we have one of the 2 drivers I alluded to, Ty Gibbs, 10-5. We've seen what he's done on road courses, winning the Daytona road course earlier this year. Ty Gibbs, definitely going to be in my lineups. I think it's the most cash play available. Well, second most cash play available, considering, who's behind him. But I love the Ty Gibbs play. I think we're going to cram 3 studs today in lineups.
Yeah, I agree. He's not one of my prime drivers. I like Cindric, and we'll get to Allmendinger and 2 more better. But I think Gibbs is definitely, I did build a lineup and getting comfortably all 3 10K guys in, and actually like it.
Yeah. So there we go. Build 3 studs, Gibbs, Allmendinger, Cindric. That'll probably be the chalky move of the day. Between them, we have Myatt Snyder, Richard Childress Racing, 7,900. He is 10th in the points. He's going to need an excellent finish. I just don't think he has it in him.
He's not the best road course driver.
Yeah, that's also that. Like Clements is the better road course racer. Snyder's got the better starting position. They both need to win. If you're feeling it, go ahead. I don't know. Uh, I guess Snyder could finish 10th and you would pay off that 7,900. I think that's what you're hoping for. So I guess I'm with you on the GPP call.
Mhm.
Yeah. Allmendinger, cash play, lock it in, number one, right?
Yep. Top guy on the slate, probably.
Yeah, starting 15th, going to get inside that top five, probably. We're even looking at him for the cup video probably later on. Allmendinger is a lock of the slate. 10-7, not high enough. He should be like 10, he should be like 12K here for the starting spot. Yeah, so next up we have Sam Mayer, 8,700 in the 8. Any love for Sam Mayer, the rook?
No, just really has struggled, was decent in trucks, came up here. He's had some flashes of brilliance, but he's just not one that on a course that he really hasn't seen. I'm not interested.
Yeah. 8,700 is just too high of a price tag for me. I am out. Next up, we have Brennan Brown, winner of Talladega last week, 6K. That's really cheap for a driver with some confidence. I'm interested.
Yeah, I like the price tag. I like where he's starting, and I like the momentum. So yes, definitely.
Yeah, he's going to be inside my cash lineup. That's for sure. Josh Williams. It's good to see him still on the track. We have not totally wrecked this guy out of his life yet. 5,300 looks not bad. Any pedigree for Josh Williams on road courses?
Yeah, he's actually decent. So this is more of a track style for him. Shouldn't maybe get spun out in a corner or so, but it's not something where you can completely wipe out. So I have 53. I like it. I think that's a very reasonable price, and I think that he makes the 10K drivers possible.
Yeah. Next up, we have Ryan Sieg, 5,900. This is always a GPP play, but it could always go completely. Yeah, it could always go completely backwards on you. It is a boomer bust strategy if there ever is one in racing. He's always going to be zigging when everybody zags. He'll be pitting when everybody's not. Sieg and his team have done this for years. Road course is a good opportunity to do some strategy. With having 2-minute lap times, you're able to try to find different ways to get better on the field, and I think he will do that today. So it could be a boomer bust. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Cool. All right, Jade Buford. I've seen this name get talked about a lot here in the industry throughout the day and yesterday. He is starting 19th. 5,500 is a super low price tag. This big machine racing car has been pretty fast. Speed doesn't really matter. It's all about handling, and it's all about your driver. Is Buford a good driver for a road course?
Buford owns a school to teach drivers how to drive on road courses. So
there you have it.
He's good at that. His equipment is mildly suspect, though.
Sure. I think that's fair. He's had some good practice times. He's done well in qualifying when there is qualifying. So I've seen his car have speed on other tracks, and hopefully that can translate into a good road course car. If you're telling me he's teaching a school, then I'm certainly know he knows a little bit about car setups for road courses. So I'm sure that team is going to be gunning today. I'm going to have him in some GPPs. That's for sure. I'm not sure about cash. I do like Brandon Brown a little bit more. So we'll talk about this next guy. I think he's going to be quite highly owned. Alex Labay. 7,300 is not high enough. Starting 20th. The 36 car is a pretty good car. Your thoughts?
I like him for cash. He's kind of in no man's land. If you want to get 3 GPP, or if you want to get 3 of the 10K drivers in, he doesn't work. But if you only go with 2 of them and then you build like this solid mid-range, then he's definitely a play. But was in my GPP lineup because for GPP I faded the 3 kings, we'll call them Cindric, Grayson, and Allmendinger. But if you put them in there, then it's very, very hard to get Labay in there because you don't have that much left. You're going to end up playing like some of the 4K guys, which are, one of them's okay. The rest of them are, yeah.
All right, next up we have Tommy Joe Martins in the 44 starting 21st. 5,400. I have not heard much about Tommy Joe Martins on a road course, so I'm out.
Yeah, he's starting way too high. The price is decent, but he's not good on a road course, so not too excited there.
Not a small track. No Tommy Joe Martins. Next up we have Brett Moffitt. 8,600's too expensive. I like the place differential idea here with Brett Moffitt, but I think Jed Buford could finish higher. I even think Riley Herbst could finish higher. I even think Myatt Snyder could finish higher. So for that reason, with those three starting where they're starting, potentially finishing where they can finish, I'm out on Brett Moffitt. Are you?
I have him in a couple of my GPP lineups. He is kind of underrated for a road course driver. So he's
interesting.
Good in that. The equipment is good, but like I said, GPP only. You're not going to be able to fit him in with these 10K drivers, but he does fit in nicely if Grayson's your only 10K driver, and then you're taking, some of the other solid people that are in like the 8-9K range. So
okay,
and there's a little bit of place differential there too. Like it's better than like Jones and Burton and Herbst, even though he might not finish as high of them, he might gain more places.
That is fair to say as well. When you have people like Tommy Joe in front of them, the idea that Sam Mayer or Josh Williams can go backwards, I would understand that from that standpoint. He could finish inside the top 15. That's what you're hoping for. Next up, we have JJ Yaley in a BJ McLeod car, 99, 6,200. Any love for Yaley?
GPP, like if you look at his points per game, it's in the green, but that's because he's been driving that 17 car, and this is not the 17, right. This is the 99. So exactly. GPP to fade for me.
Yep. That is really good to pick up on early. I think people are going to be expecting Yaley to have that same kind of success, but they might not realize he's in a different car today. So I'm glad we got to a point where we could talk about that. Next up, we have Kyle Weatherman in the 47. Is he 4,700? Is the 47 car 4,700? I'm going to have to play him. That is my favorite number. So I am in on Weatherman just based on the fact that he's 4,700. He's the number 47 car. So I'm gonna win 10K on the 47 car today.
I like him. I think I have him as medium, but I think I'm going to change that to high just because of the pricing. And the only problem with this Mike Harmon car is it can be unreliable at times. I've seen it break down, but he does help you get some of those 10K drivers in. So definitely in play.
I totally understand it as well. It could be boom, it could be bust. Next up, we have Ty Dillon in the 23R Motorsports. This car's not bad. Excuse me. Ty Dillon, not a bad road course, not a bad driver. Road course racing could be suspect, though. 9,300 is a lot to figure out.
Good car.
Good car. I understand some place differential here, but I don't know if I'm trying to take Allmendinger. I'm trying to take too much already with Gregson, and I just don't know where I'm going to fit with Ty Dillon.
Well, this is the alternate cash line. You pick between Cindric, Allmendinger, and Gibbs. If I had to like gun to head, I'd take Gibbs and Allmendinger just because of the place differential. Because Cindric has so much that even though he's probably the best driver and probably the best chance to win this one, he also has the best chance to lose the most amount of points. So if you just take two 10K guys, and then you can take LeBay, Moffitt, and Weatherman, and then I don't know how much is left. You just have to figure out who that final driver is that would fit in for you. I think that's a decent alternate cash line versus the people that are going the 3 10K drivers. It would give you a little bit of differentiation. So if you're playing like in like a 3 max or something, then go that route. And it's not quite a GPP, it's more cashy, but it might actually yield more points.
Yeah, I think that would be a way you could get to Ty Dillon in any aspect of this slate. Next up, we have 2 drivers we won't need to talk about long. Nope. Matt Mills, Ryan Vargas, out. Yep. Sage Karam, 6,800. He's getting the Jordan Anderson 31. Tell me a little bit about what you know, because I don't know anything.
He's a good road course driver. He had
Okay.
a decent run at some of these other ones. I'm pretty excited about him. I think he'll be highly owned. Again, he doesn't fit my cash build. He's a little bit too much to try to get those 10K drivers in. If you're doing the other alternate line, I don't know if 6,800 is left. I haven't done the math on that. So maybe he would be one to help finish that one out. But he's definitely 100% in my GPP. He was the second one in. It went Grayson and Sage.
Okay, so a lot of confidence in Sage today, starting 28th. Next up, we have the 26 car Will Rogers, Sam Hunt Racing 7K.
Didn't he have a restaurant change?
Was that
Isn't
Roy
like
Rogers?
Will Rogers like a hamburger place in like Canada or something?
That's Roy Rogers.
Oh, okay.
Close.
Will's his son. He took over the business.
That is the sponsor of the car easily. 7K just looks like too much. I think I'm gonna roll with you and Sage.
Yeah, but he is good. So, and this 26 car has been okay. So I think he is cash viable. But again, Sage would probably be the better play. But if you have $200 more and you want a little bit of a different lineup and to get off the chalk, then there you go.
All righty. All right, so here's the interesting aspect of what we were getting to with JJ Yeley. The 17 car going to be raced by Joe Groff Jr. today in the green light machine. 4,800. We're getting a super discount. Are you able to play Joe Groff Jr.?
Yeah, and this might be a better play than Weatherman if you have $100 more, because Weatherman is probably going to be the darling because people remember playing him. But Joe, I think Weatherman's a better road course driver, but I think this is by far superior equipment. And sometimes on technical tracks like this, I'd rather have the equipment over the driver. Even though it's a technical race, I think, neither one of these guys, if you're going Kyle Weatherman and Joe Graff head to head, are trying to win this race. They're just trying to go out there and do as best as they can. And I think sometimes the better equipment might yield to a better result if Joe Graff is there at the end of the race and Weatherman, who might have been doing better driving, but the car breaks down and can't finish.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly explained. I'm going to have exposure to both in my MME format. All right, so next up we have Josh Bilicki in the same green light machine. SS green light machine. The 07 7,500 is quite a bit, but I do remember you telling me about how Bilicki is really good on road courses. Are you going to take any shots at that price tag though?
Again, in no man's land, I'm going to pay $200 more and take LeBay, even though he's starting 11 points higher. But I think, again, if you're trying to build a lineup and if you're playing like in a 20 max and you're trying to take down one of those GPPs, here are the nuances that can make you win something. If everybody takes like the same lineup and maybe they can squeeze in LeBay and then they take like Weatherman and Graff. And again, I don't know the math. I don't have it in front of me. So I'm just assuming it all works out pricing wise and not trying to give out full lineups. I'm just giving examples here. So you take those three guys up top and then you take two of these 4K guys and that fits in. If you have $200 more, you might go Bilicki when the whole world goes LeBay and just leaves the 200 on the table. And that could make the difference between winning a GPP and, finishing tied with 600 other people.
Pretty much. Yeah. I think it'd be a GPP at best. I'm undecided on whether I'm going to roster. I'll just defer to that when I go to make my lineups. All right. Next up, we have two guys we don't need to spend much time on. That's Jeffrey Earnhardt and Spencer Boyd. Nope. That'll lead us to Loris Hezemans. 5,100. What do you know about the?
Hezeman.
I have no idea.
He's actually European road course driver.
Okay.
Or maybe he was the IndyCar driver. I can't remember. He's either IndyCar driver or he drove European road course, but pedigree is good. That's car is okay, but he has not started in parts. He has like competed in every single race. Great price point, great potential. I like it, as a cash play at 5,100. I think it's, safer than I think if a lot of people are like on Josh Williams with the pedigree in the car, this guy could, in the same price range, be a nice pivot.
Yeah. If you have Loris or Weatherman, who are you going with?
Oh, Loris, definitely.
All right, there you go.
If I have the $400, I'd go with Loris.
All right. I think that's the good question to ask.
It's giving you the place differential, and I think the cars are similar in tech.
Perfect. There you go. Landon Castle, 6,600. He is back in the 4. I think the price tag's just a little too far out. Unless I'm in a GPP.
This car is actually broken down. Like even the 4 has like been a little unreliable recently, but he's been okay on road courses. I couldn't give him the blue label on here just because I didn't feel that he was above average, but I think it's an okay play. That's why I listed as cash. And I agree with you. The pricing is a little bit high, but I like him better than like Parsons, who's like right below him, or definitely
go ahead and roll that into
I'm going up to Sage.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we could just talk about Parsons for a short minute. I kind of feel he's the same play as Landon Castle.
Yeah.
So I just think the price is a little too far out. I'm going to have too much more interest in others. I'm going to take a shot on Sage, and maybe have my lineup stretched to LeBay instead. But ultimately, no lineup starts or stops without this next guy.
Yeah.
Other than AJ Allmendinger, and that is Preston Pardus. We've seen this guy before in road courses dominate the place differential for us. He's been a consistent value. They did not price him up high enough, I believe.
Absolutely not. No, he should be 9K.
Yeah, I think this is another lock of the slate. I think if you have Allmendinger and Pardus, even though they're going to be 50% owned, it is still part of today's slate and winning in today's slate. So give me both of those two as probably 100% owned in lineups.
Yes, I believe.
And I'll try to make everything else work. But I feel confident enough in both of those racers. Pardus, yeah, there's just there he is, prime play. Just play it. Chris Wright, 5,700. Any interest? He's got okay.
It's a JD pedigree. Yeah, at 57, it's not a bad play at all.
Yeah,
I mean, there's really nobody. Tommy Joe Martin and Ryan Seeger are like the only ones in the same pricing zone, and you would definitely take him if that's where you landed.
Yeah, I might take a shot on Buford over those guys, and maybe over Chris Wright, but that would probably be it. Maybe Chris Wright, if I land on him. All right. Next up, we have Greg Galding at 70, starting 39th in the 74. No.
Yeah, I list him as GPP, but I think he's almost to the fade line. This guy just like he was decent last year, but every time you look at the standings, it's just like you look at the bottom and he's still racing. He doesn't like start and park, but he's like 15 laps behind all the time. Now on a road course, that's gonna be kind of hard to do, but
this team's gone backwards.
Yeah.
That's just what happened. His team has gone backwards this year. All right. Last is in the Hattori Racing Enterprise machine, Austin Hill.
Yep. He's won on road courses. He won Watkins Glen and truck.
Yeah. Jumping from truck to Xfinity. 7,700 is quite high, but if you're looking for a pivot off Pardus, hey, something happens to Preston and you're on Austin Hill, and they totally flip-flop roles today. I mean, he's not in a bad car. I could understand this.
He cannot lose you points.
Exactly. I'm in on this Austin Hill play. I'm gonna see what he can do in Xfinity.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Mega, that is it for the whole slate and driver by driver breakdown. Guys, thank you for listening in. Mega, any last comments?
No, I think, I think if you're playing the top guys up top, that's fine, but don't feel that you have to use all of your salary if you want to only play 2 of the guys up top, and then try to get some of these, try to get like Hill and Pardus and, some of the other guys we talked about. If you have like a couple hundred left, or maybe even 1,000, and there's not a driver that you like above it, then just leave it on the table. It's going to make you different. it's what ends up happening is if you're trying to win a tournament and you zero out your lineup, or you're probably going to have the same lineup that many other people or many computer programs or optimizers came up with. But, if you're leaving a little bit of money there, it might be something unique enough to have floor and actually have enough potential to get you over the finish line.
All righty, Mega. Thank you for that. And thank you for breaking this down with us today. Please like this video, comment below. You can find us on Twitter at TKNation47. That is at MegaRuler31. Also, join us on Fantasy Sports Insight YouTube page. Subscribe and like the page. All right, guys. Take care. See you for Cup.
Yep. Bye.
Later.